here's the boom.
Boop boop beep boop beep boop beep doo. C'est
Do you have my Damon? Do you have my love?
So here is Miriam.
Miriam. I'm wondering how you would sort of define what you do in contrast to something.
Well, it's
like
hard
this.
because it's always put in a category of documentary, but I don't think it's documentary.
Yeah.
Then it's not fiction, but it has some fiction, and then it has a lot of portraiture. And I think it's portraits of me as much also of the person.
There's a seriousness that is going for, that the artist is going for, but also they're sitting for hours.
Yeah, it's like
You
a
can't change
talking head
expression.
portrait, which I'm not doing with the film. If you look at the artists I chose, they're pretty cuckoo.
Yeah, of course. But is that because you feel like they're kindred spirits?
I feel really comfortable
Yeah.
with that world. It's not a biopic.
No, not at all.
So it's a very personal portrait that the person allows herself or himself to give me.
Right.
And then through years of exploration and friendship, that's what the portrait becomes.
Yeah, right.
And I always think of the film as choreography. They're almost like dance in the way of editing, in the way of shooting,
Yeah.
in the music, and in like the rupture of the sound, because you get something really moving and then bling, a sound breaks it and it goes into another rhythm and you learn something else and it
Yeah.
cuts the space.
Can you talk a little bit about that rupture?
There's like recorded 15 tracks in the new feature. There's like songs from albums, there's songs from just putting the mic in the space. So you hear the aquarium, you hear the walking, the dog. Then you have interviews, and often they're taken over 7 years, so you get so many different voices of the same person. And then you get sound of just walking around with the band and just like being there.
Right.
So it's all mixed together. It would be a very different film if I had met someone who was so different from the emotion that I have, or who I am, or the music that I like, or the way I edit. Jen makes a lot of collages. It was almost perfect. The whole life of Jen is a collage. The music is a collage. So it was there. From the beginning, she sensed that I was not in the commercial world.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. So she was like, oh, she's actually an artist with her own vision. And our personality matched in a way that she trusted me. So she knew there would be a film completely different from any other film made on Genesis.
Voice is still a bit tinny like before. I'd like to sound more macho, please. Like a really big man. That's more like it.
Everyone portrays Genesis or has an image of Genesis like being very scary.
Yeah.
And I know she had that in her past.
Right.
And there is that part of Jen.
Yeah.
And Jay is also someone really strong. And she's changed. She's
Yeah.
changed very big time because of love also. And I think the image of Jen in the past and all the coom transmission and throbbing gristle has evolved, even though this is a really intense person. Like you can feel, you don't want Jen to be angry at you.
I can see that.
I would like be really scared. You're gonna go up to the star.
I go up to the store. So the problem is I'm really afraid of heights.
Oh,
So
then
as
don't
soon as I
do
go up, I'm always drawn to heights. I'm always drawn.
Wanting to be there.
I want to
but
see it, and then as soon as I do it, my whole
body goes whoops. Sometimes I don't know where it's taking me, and
Yeah.
it might be a total failure. I don't know if I'll make another portrait. Maybe it will be a fiction after that, or with all these characters. But the jumping off the cliff is just, there's something that is always exploring. For me, since I've never been trained, I've never been to film school, it's always learning.
It's always that.
Yeah. Like I don't know how to use technique very well. It's always learning. It's clumsy. Everything falls apart. But you learn as you're making, and I don't have money, so you have to always be creative. I wouldn't know what to do if someone gave me money and said you have 10 days to film something. I don't know. I would work on it, but
Yeah.
it's very different.